And finally, he was born in Brooklyn, New York. At a very young age, it was discovered he had a hearing impairment. Now, for most people, this would put a damper on things. This did not. He became active in bodybuilding. Thanks to his father and his friends, he entered many competitions. He became, at age 21, the youngest man to win Mr. Universe, a record which still holds true today. He followed that up with a second straight win at Mr. Universe. In 1977, his goal to beat Arnold Schwarzenegger for Mr. Olympia was documented in perhaps one of the greatest documentaries ever made, Pumping Iron. That film later led to an audition for the role that changed his life, in which he brought to life Marvel Comics' great, I guess you would call it tragic hero, the Incredible Hulk. Not only did he play the Hulk in the TV series and the TV movies, he also gave voice to the Hulk on the animated show that was on Fox for a little while. To this day, he continues to motivate people about physical fitness, about nutrition. He is a motivational speaker. He is a trainer to the stars. He is one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time, and he's also a great actor. You heard him talk about King of Queens. This man is also an accomplished stage actor. He had great reviews for Of Mice of Men that he did a couple of years ago. Ladies and gentlemen, the incredible Lou Ferrigno. So I'll tell you what, if we're ready to get this started, let's go ahead and do it. Who wants to be first to ask the stars a question? Who's first? Who's first? Just raise your hand. Lady right here, she's not going to be shy.
Lou, are you really a gossip like you are on the King of Queens?
Are you talking about the episode? I think you mentioned about the gossip. Well, they put that on the show, of course. You know, who doesn't gossip? I like the way they played it up. Jerry Sealift in the basement called me the gossip queen. I thought it was hilarious because they're instilling in the show what happens in everyday's life.
Who's got the next question? Please raise your hand and I'll come to you. Gentleman right here in the back. Please step back here. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I've been a big fan of Lou's forever, back, from the Pumping Iron days. When is Arnold going to make you, get you a position in the California state legislature? A cabinet position?
I don't think I want to get involved in politics. We're in a state today that there's so much going on. I think we have to concentrate on taking care of ourselves. Political thing is very difficult, and Arnold like being a politician. I'd rather mind my own business.
Here we go. We've got a little fan. What's your name?
Josh.
What's your question for?
What does it take to get the green off your body?
A few hours. To take it off, believe it or not, will take a full hour. But the difficult part was, especially playing the character of the Hulk, I had to endure getting retouched all day long. We're talking about like 12 to 14 hours a day, especially when the climate like this and the humidity is very high. I would keep running, have perspiration, I have to retouch. I got somebody poking my eyeball to put the contact lens. I got somebody pulling my pants, fixing my wig, rubbing more green on my body. And you can see when I do the scene, I get so angry, that's right. I'm so angry.
What's your name?
Miguel.
Miguel, what's your question?
Why is he not green?
Because I'm not angry today.
What's your name, buddy?
Omar.
Omar, what's your question?
How come the Hulk doesn't have green on it?
That's what your brother just asked.
Yeah, but he always takes questions from I know why the Hulk ain't angry is because nobody's making a man right now.
That's right. Good question. Who's next? Who has a question? Please raise your hand. I'll make my way around if I can. Back here. Where are you at? Back here in the back. Let's go. This gentleman with the Green Lantern shirt on. Who's your question for?
It's also for Lou. Considering going back to the Incredible Hulk, the movie that was recently made, what was it like to go back and basically have the part in the Hulk again and also working with Stan Lee?
Well, talking about the Hulk movie, you see, Ang Lee, when he directed the film, they wanted to bring the version of Hulk very close to the comic, where you see different split screen and everything. I was happy to be part of the film because it's part of history, but my personal opinion, nothing's going to compete with the emotional, sympathetic Hulk of the TV series itself. But they are planning to do another Hulk movie, but the movie was a different version because now with the series you have the human Hulk and you have the CGI. CGI is very difficult, but I think eventually they're going to make the next character, the next time it's going to be more sympathetic.
Speaking of making movies of superheroes, I don't know, like Lois Lane, or Lois's mom in the Superman movie, Lou had the cameo in the Hulk. Jackson, they are currently working on the screenplay for the Captain Marvel movie. Have you been contacted about possibly making a cameo in that movie?
No, I haven't, but the gentleman that's working with me on my book is very good friends with the executive producer, and the executive producer happened to be a very big Shazam Captain Marvel fan. So, the nemesis of Captain Marvel, which would sort of be a casting, innovative casting to have the guy that played Captain Marvel play Black Adam in a movie. So it's a $100 million movie. It's going to be a big one. New Line Cinema is doing. They're already talking about having Sean Connery play Shazam, the old wizard. Wow, which would be very good. William Goldman, who wrote Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid and Princess Bride, has already written the first script. They didn't quite like, I guess, the way it's was set up. It's going to be brought up into modern times, but the people who did Toy Story are now doing the rewrites on the script.
Have you heard who is possibly up for playing Captain Marvel?
No, and I hope they go for an unknown.
Like the way they did with Christopher Reeve in the first Superman.
Exactly. Always go for an unknown in the superhero characters like myself, like Lou, as far as a bodybuilder, but an unknown as an actor would be much better to play a superhero. And then surround him with well-known actors.
What's your name, buddy?
Tyler,
Who's your question for? Is it for Lou?
it's for Captain Marvel.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question for Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel can say Shazam.
Well, usually when I say Shazam, I lose 6 inches.
I was kind of worried because with a thunderstorm, I thought if you got by lightning,
And that attracts
Michael
lightning.
Gray.
It attracts lightning, yes. No, I'd be happy to. Shazam! By the way, I only said that one time on the series.
I remember that episode.
One episode, and I kept trying to tell them, why don't you have it where it goes back to Billy Batson? Well, they were too cheap. They didn't want to do the animation to redo it. I said, well, just run it in reverse. I don't know.
What's your name, buddy?
Noel,
Who's your question for?
I want the Hulk to growl.
He wants the Hulk to growl. Lou, can you growl?
Hulk smash, Hulk wow! I've done the voiceover for the UPN animated Hulk cartoon, and it was funny, I went to audition for it because they think I was able to play the voice. I wish I could have done the voice at the time I've done the TV series, but it wasn't deep enough. But I enjoy doing the voiceover for the cartoon because it brings another dimension to the character, because as far as the emotional side, doing voiceover is very difficult because when you do voiceover, the new system today is you do the voice and they build a cartoon around it. The old days you had to kind of lip sync, so it's very difficult. But today is fascinating because there's so many different characters you can play.
Yes, sir. Please stand and ask your question.
My name is Rick, and I'm from Lexington, Kentucky. And it's just an observation. Thank you all for the memories and making all the rainy days I spent as a kid bearable. Thank you all.
You're very welcome.
What's your name?
Evan,
Who's your question for?
Captain Marvel. Who would win if you and Superman had a fight?
That's a good question.
Superman and the Hulk had a fight.
No, Superman and Captain
What if it
Marvel.
was a three-way brawl?
Oh, that would be good. Superman, Hulk, or Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel is billed as the world's mightiest mortal. You know, so he came from, he didn't have these superpowers that Superman has, because Superman's an alien. But they're both impervious to harm. So I think whichever one gave out, as far as breathing during your exercises and keeping in shape and stuff like that, would be the one that would win, because there's no killing them. They're both, they would both do good, and I don't think they would be fighting. They work on the same team.
We have a question for Noel. Ma'am, go ahead.
On the Superman's TV show, you played such a feisty character and never listened to Barry White. Was that really acting, or are you really that way? Hi there. Oh, hi. Oh, we tore it apart. We'll call you Superman, too. Thank you. No, I was kind of in the script that I used to be a little rotten. Clark Kent and Superman. Well, I was in love with Superman, but my friends call me Cranky Neil, so I guess I come by it naturally.
Noel, what was your favorite episode of The Adventures of Superman that you worked on?
Well, I always say the wedding of Superman because I had more of a part in that. I worked all day. It was wonderful to think I was going to marry Superman. Of course, it didn't happen, but you say that's showbiz.
A gentleman had a question for Jackson. Did you ever have a chance to meet Tom Tyler, the first actor to play Captain Marvel in the movie serial?
Well, that would have been interesting if I had. He did that series in 1941. And I can't remember the exact date that Tom died. Somebody gave me that date. But I never did get a chance to meet him. But if anybody gets a chance to see that serial, they say, Leonard Maltin says it's one of the greatest serials of all time. And it is.
Wasn't it ahead of its time?
Way ahead of its time. And the flying sequences in that thing are a hoot. They really are. But that's one that, and you can get that on DVD, by the way. If you can get it, because that's really fun to watch. I mean, he throws guys off of a building. I mean, he doesn't take any, it's not like we had on our Saturday morning, we weren't allowed to throw any punches. We couldn't put any child in danger. We couldn't do anything. It was during the 70s when they were really coming down with brutality. Even coconuts on monkeys dropping in cartoons, they were saying, or the Three Stooges hitting each other. So it was all taboo back then, so it made it difficult. But that movie is worth seeing.
You know, along those lines of the Saturday morning show, one thing that I think you did that is really missing in kids' cartoons today is at the very end, Captain Marvel came on and talked about the moral of the story.
In the first 4 months of the show, they didn't have that. And I told Bob Chenault, who was the producer of the show, Bob, you're missing it. I mean, you need to have the superhero come back and talk to the kids. Like Cisco and Pancho would come back and talk, or the Lone Ranger, or Sergeant Preston would come back and talk and say, this case is closed, kid. Anyway, 4 months into the show, they come and say, Jackson, we decided to do that. And we shot those 15 tags in one day. And if you look real close in the background, you'll see rain coming down. Something like a day like today. They had an umbrella over me with a sun lamp hitting me in the face. And we filmed all of them right there that one day at Franklin Canyon Reservoir. And if you look real close, you can see the rain peppering down in the background.
Yeah, this question is for Noel. I'm sure the gentleman can tell us several incidents where they were injured filming, where they're the superheroes. I was wondering if Noel was ever injured in a scene.
No, they were too cheap to let me be sick. We had a wonderful special effects man, Cy Simonson, and he did all the, the guns and the bombs sitting at your feet and whatever. The only thing that happened, wasn't hurt, but George Reeves, one day, Hamilton and Jack Larson and myself were in a cave and waiting for Superman to rescue us. And it was a long shot and 2 cameras, which we always didn't have. But they said, no, this is first take, 1 take, and that's it, and the wall goes. So we sat there and waited, and nothing happened. All of a sudden we saw one little hand, one little foot come in. And we realized finally that George was stuck in the wall and couldn't get through. Oh, bless his heart. Finally, George Blair, the director, said, oh, cut, I'm sorry, George, are you hurt? No. He pulled himself out of the wall, came around, made a nice little southern ball, and said, I'll see you all tomorrow, and away you went. That was the only thing that was serious. They were careful.
What's your question?
This one for Lewis. If you still could play the Hulk, would you?
If Lou could still play the Hulk, would he?
Oh, definitely, because I'm always in my great shape, and if they asked me to repeat the role in the Hulk series, I could definitely do it, because about 3 or 4 weeks ago, I just did a major Hulk commercial in Milan, Italy, for a telephone company. And when you see the commercial, you never think of the 25-year difference. So because I'm in great shape anytime, because I wouldn't mind being the Hulk for the rest of my life.
I feel like Phil Donna here out there. What's your name and who's your question for?
Lou, and my name is Justice. Did you like your career as the Hulk?
Did Lou like playing the Hulk?
Yeah, very much, because I was a Hulk my whole life when I was very young. Like you mentioned that I lost like 80-85% of my hearing. I was very introverted as a child. And a lot of kids used to make fun of me. They used to call me names. They used to call me names like Deaf Mute, Deaf Louie, because of my hearing. But I never really felt sorry for myself, so I took up bodybuilding, weight training, and learned how to build muscle and build myself up. And I was really actually the Hulk because I had so much anger. And I related to Hulk because he always had to fight foes. He had to fight, a lot of different adversities in his life. So it's the same thing, the same parallel like myself. But that's why I ended up playing the Hulk, because I was basically the Hulk my whole life, all the way back to my childhood.
We have a young man down here. Go ahead. Who's your question for?
Have you ever played football when you were young?
I did play football. I played a short time for the Canadian Argonauts. That's Canadian football, because I tried out for the New York Jets. I never played when I was young. And funny, I mentioned yesterday, I told the press that I went to the coach one day and I said, listen, I really don't like hitting people. And he said, go back to bodybuilding and stuff. So that's what I did. But it's a very highly intelligent game. If you want to really play football, you have to really play when you're very young, because it's a very highly skillful game. And it was a good experience for me. It was a lot of fun. But I'm glad I'm not into for many years, because I don't think my body would be looking the way it looks today.
We have a young lady here. What's your question? Your question is for Noel. Go ahead.
If Superman X, would you marry him?
Well, I might have, except in those days, George had a girlfriend who was bigger than I and richer than I. So I went my way upon my own. Thank you for asking me. He was a nice person.
Lou, my question is, why can I not find the photograph? Because I remember I remember watching you on TV when you was getting your Olympic medal, and there was one shot with you and Arnold, and you made Arnold look like a little bitty peon. And I want to know, how come I can't find that photograph anywhere?
The photograph of which one?
Of you and Arnold together.
And the photograph of Arnold and myself together. Well, Arnold doesn't like to stand next to me because he doesn't like to look small next to anybody. There is a great shot of Arnold and myself. I won the American, he won the Olympia that night. It's a great shot of the two of us face to face. If you go on a website called ironage.us, it's a great website that shows a lot of pictures from all of us from years back. It's a wonderful picture because he won the Olympia that night and I won the Miss America competition back in 1973. And Arnold really, his twine was about 6'1.5". He weighed 228 for pumping iron. I was 275. But he has a different kind of body structure. But thanks for asking.
The gentleman here in the front row has a question. Hi, buddy. What's your name? You got a question, John? What's John's question? John's question is for Lou. What was your relationship with Bill Bixby like?
We were very close. He was like a mentor, like a father to me, and I lost a dear friend because when you're working on a TV series, you spend more time on your co-stars than you with your wife and family. And Bill and I have done 86 episodes, and Bill was a wonderful director, producer, actor, as well as being just an actor by himself. And he was a veteran of many different TV series. We were extremely close. He was a wonderful man, a wonderful human being.
We have some people, yes. We have some folks back here. This young man has a question. What's your name?
Bobby.
Bobby, who's your question for?
The Hulk. How did you get to jump so high?
Well, I've done 99% of the stunts myself. The high jump I wouldn't do because I'm afraid of height, but anything close up I had to do it myself. And of course, we had great stunt coordinators. But one time I did jump from the top of a house. It was about 40 feet high. I'll never do it again. I had to carry a woman and jump into an airbag. I couldn't see below me. There's about Bill Bixby comes down with a group of people, about 30 people, and he kept screaming, "Jump! Jump! If you don't jump, I'm gonna cancel the series." Okay, why not? Just jump, why not?
My question is for Miss Neill. Of the modern day Supermans, not the ones you worked with, whose work did you think was most representative of Superman? And you're talking about making another movie. Who do you think would be a good actor to fill that role today?
Oh, as the gentleman on the far end said, it'd probably be best to have a unknown.
Scott Cranford.
Who?
Scott Cranford.
Scott. Oh, well, okay, Scott. But it's awfully hard. Of course, we're also fond of George Reeves, and we always think that nobody can replace him. But there's talk of a movie going to be made, but they had, we're going to go away here. But it's hard to think of anybody because you get so tight. It's a thing that, their career might go right down the tubes if they do Superman and they never get hired again. So it's kind of a problem. Everybody's turned it down so far. But, who? Oh, really? I don't know if you know of anybody send a letter into Universal.
This young lady right here has a question. What's your name, hon?
Baby.
What would you like to know?
What makes Hulk so mad?
It's very hard for me to get angry. I really love getting angry. And it takes a lot for me to get angry. I think the only one that gets me angry is my wife. If I don't listen to her enough, she gets mad at me. Whereas women love to be listened to. Love to be listened to.
Go ahead, what's your question?
Yes, this is for Miss Neill. It's not really a question, I just wanted to tell you that for my husband, I've been married for 32 years, He has no pictures of me in my office, but you're all in his office, but you're all over the place. Last year he got a picture with you, and now that's there, but if he has to have another woman in his life, I'm glad it's you.
Congratulations on 32 years. That's good.
My name's Jack. This is for Jackson Bostwick. The mentor, Les Tremaine. What kind of actor was he? Was it true professional or anything like that? How was it?
Les was a very fine actor. He just recently passed away, December 19th of last year, 90 years old. But Les was, on the set, was a professional. He thoroughly enjoyed playing Mr. Mentor. I think it should have been Shazam instead of Mr. Mentor. That was Filmation that came up with that. If they had come up with the character, they had to do that to, whoa, just gained some strength there. They had to do that because Billy Batson couldn't ride around in a motorhome by himself at the age of 16. And I think Michael Gray was 28 when he played that. But at 16 years old, they couldn't have that on Saturday morning, so they came up with a mentor character. Now, if they had come up with Shazam, who was usually at the Rock of Eternity, and had the Spirit come down and be with him, I think it would have been really swell. But Les was a very fine actor, and as far as on the set and everything, never had a problem with it at all.
Gentleman here has a question. Go ahead, stand up.
This is for Lois. What was it like playing first with Kirk Allen and then later with George Reeves?
Kirk was his heart. Had been a dancer, ballet dancer in New York, before he was hired. And he was very good. He did, the jumps and the leaps and everything, but he also was sort of hammy. But George was such a sweet person and a wonderful actor because he could, change from Superman to Clark Kent and make it seem realistic. I hope that was applause. Hey, cats.
We don't need to say that word,
I believe we got time for one quick question, ma'am. Go ahead. Due to the weather, go ahead.
Noel, you come across as being so beautiful and kind and gracious and just a lovely lady. Does anything ever make you lose your temper or get angry?
Well, something the man does, but then, they always do that. You have to go with the flow. Thank you for the compliment.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much.